standing in the middle of my home railroad, and this is Bob's world, the way the world is supposed to be. We have nuclear power, we have plenty of oil, we have a toll road over there, and the toll road has been paid for, so there's no longer any charges. And the jail is actually vacant, and that's Bob's perfect world. It was just a childhood dream. I got my first train set in 1953, and in my teens I gave it to my sister for my nephew. But of course he was of the slot car racing generation, so it had no interest, and it sat in their garage. About 20 some years ago, he was cleaning out the garage and said, "Do you want it back?" I said, "Sure." And I said, "Well, gosh, I'll just get a few of the pieces like I used to have as a kid." And that kind of got out of control. I couldn't have done this railroad layout without two professionals helping me. So I hired Don Hagler and Jim Goodall. Both of them are into the model railroading club here locally, and they came and did a lot of the work for me. And basically they'd show me how to do things and leave me to do the grunt work. Except for the wiring, they did most of the wiring. The way this is set up is there's a three-way switch here. So I can either run the blue line here, when it's got a blue light, or I can run the red line here. So I have to control that as to which chain, or I can turn this siding off altogether. So when I'm moving stock around, depending on which line it's coming from and which siding it's going on, you have to work these switches. And then these are for all of the power accessories that we have, like the shooting gallery, the balloon ride, and the Dino gas station, which is off and on, and the diner and the airport tower, beacon, water tower, radar unit, gotta watch for incoming Santa Claus, yard lights, mail bag. There's just a forklift operating station on the far side. You can see the forklift man coming in and out. Then underneath it, there's lots of wires. It's King Kong time. I like to maintain things. I like to restore things. That gives me pleasure. Doesn't feel like it's off the track. Well, it is now. Like I said, this is where you have to be kind of careful. And it's very reassuring to be a giant. Anything else I have to take care of while I'm up here? I don't think so. Yeah, let's see if that got it. If it did, I'll pull it around because it lost a couple cars. And so, of course, the first order of business was restoring them to operating condition. And then they have a lower layout that the small kids can come through and they can play with it and they can operate a few things. But the thing the kids really like about this layout, they like the speaker because they can make announcements. They're not going to get frustrated because they can't make it work, and they can still have fun. I don't worry about them crashing things. Like I did. I used to crash things when I was a little kid. You know, that was part of the joy. I was trying to recapture that 50s Lionel look. That's why it's a conventional layout, which means it's not radio controlled or doesn't have all the electronics. And most of the accessories are from the same era. Like most of the buildings, like this hotel, it's a Plasticville. And Plasticville did a tremendous number of structures for them. And they're not exactly to scale because they were made to American Flyer scale, which is 1/48. Lionel is technically 1/43rd. So they're a little bit small, but close enough. So the first train is that one right there, and it's from 1953. Of course, it's a Lionel. It was a scale train, so I want something that's going to be close or in scale. It's important that it doesn't jump out in your face and go, ah, that doesn't fit. My dad bought it for me, and something we always did at Christmas time and ran on the floor. He didn't have much interest, but he got stuff for me over a period of time. So my layout expanded a little bit. But you know, little kids have these huge, unrealistic dreams. And this is my huge, unrealistic dream that came true. Favorite piece would obviously be my first engine. I do like the tugboat. That's an operating accessory. I got a lot of Lionel operating accessories. The hobby shop over against the back wall is probably the most intricate accessory. It's a small hobby shop. If you look very carefully inside, it's got 3 layouts and all the trains are running. And it has some planes hanging from the ceiling and they're going around. And it's just an amazing job. You know, thank God for the Chinese. The important thing with the layout is it always makes me smile. In today's world, that's a good thing. This took quite a financial effort and a time effort as well to build it. I started it downstairs before we built this room addition, and it had to be about 20 years ago, give or take. And I had a small layout. It just wasn't working for me. Then I said it'd be really nice to have a bigger train room. So we built the bigger train rooms, actually built for my office. Let's keep taxes in mind here.
So that's the office.
Yes.
Okay. And this is... I'm seeing a size discrepancy here.
Oh, okay, maybe it's a little bit more train room than office, just tiny. Yeah, it's just a connection to the past. My wife has suggested that I try and find a museum that would take it. She is very tolerant. My wife is more than tolerant, she actually enjoys me having fun. So she goes along with my little child, inner child, which I have a lot of, apparently. I have pretty well fulfilled my imagination and wish list. It's just getting more things completed. And it's a never-ending process. When my grandchildren come up here, I hope that they enjoy it as much as I do, and they get some fun out of it. Because that's what it's supposed to be. Life's supposed to be a fun ride. They're enjoying it, and they're getting some of the same feelings, I hope, out of it that I do. I really like it at night because I've got probably something in the neighborhood of 1,000 lights on this layout. As it gets dark, when you turn on all the lights, it's quite a show. Time to light them up. I love it at night. Night is the best time. Absolutely, it's magic. And the magic is more imaginable at night. Never finished, so there's always more work to do on it. But long term, what we do with it, I don't know. Presumably, we're not going to live here forever, and I'm not entirely sure that the next person is going to be a Lionel train lover and say, "Oh yes, I want this giant train set in my attic." No, but I don't know. One of the reasons why we're taping this today is to have this as a memory. sort of an idyllic time of my life.